own time, they will get employment, they will get it. But they are not considering the permanent freedom, forgetting that what they are talking about is temporary. It's temporary. You work in Asorok, you do this because your tribal man is there, you are working there, you are given opportunity because it is going to last at most, it is 8 years. After 8 years, what next? After 8 years, what next? You go to square one and begin to ask. And now you're now telling me that, okay, you go and vote P2B in. After voting P2B in, when P2B spend 8 years and come out, then you start Biafra agitation afresh. You will now start afresh to agitate. And if anybody is telling you that you can get Biafra, why P2B is there, you are deceiving yourself. You are deceiving yourself. If you think that P2B will get Asorok, go to Asorok, and then getting Biafra will be easier for you, you are the greatest deceiver I've ever seen on the planet Earth. The greatest deceiver. Stop deceiving yourself. Stop deceiving yourself. You should know what you want. And what we want is permanent freedom, not a temporary one. A permanent freedom. A permanent freedom. And how are we going to get it? We are going to get it through being consistency in our request. Freedom and nothing else. Some will tell you that if you do vote or you don't vote, they will conduct an election, they will put somebody in. Of course they will put somebody in. Won't they? No, who is arguing whether they will put somebody in? In Imo State, even with your conducting election, they put somebody in there. In Imo State, after conducting election, they put somebody there. And in this election, whether you vote or you don't vote, already they have somebody they want to put, and the person is going to win. That very person is going to win. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say, the person is going to win. You see why you must not even give them that chance. Don't give them that chance. Be consistent to your demand. Let the world know that you are not part of you're not part of the evil. But you can't be, in the other hand, you are saying you don't want it, and in the other hand, you are participating, you are going for election. In the other hand, you are saying you want freedom. In the other hand, you are a one Nigerianist, you are talking for election. Some will tell you, let us hold it in two. What do you mean by holding it in two sides? That means you are not focused. You don't know what you want. It's either you are asking for Biafra or you want to be part of the one Nigeria. Just be one place. Just be one place. Don't be a distractor. Don't be a distractor. Don't be a distractor. There can never be that kind of a time where they will tell you, we know everybody cannot come on board. But if you don't want to come on board, why don't you mute yourself? Mute yourself and don't be a distractor. Don't begin to come online and ask senseless questions that you're going to be distracting people. Don't come online and begin to confuse people. You don't do that. You don't do that. The coming of Biafra is a process. And that process is on. That process is on. For you to cut short that process is another thing. You must be consistent on that process until Biafra comes. And already we have made a mark. We have drawn the line. We have drawn the line. And I want to tell these people who are preaching this same election, let me tell you, I will advise you to prepare your mind for the worst to happen. Prepare your mind for the worst. For those of us who are saying there will be no election, already our mind is made up and there is nothing that is going to happen that will take us by surprise. But those people who are preparing for election, who are talking about P2B, prepare your mind for the shock of your life. Just prepare your mind. It's my advice, my candid advice to all the people who are promoting election, who are hoping for election, who are going to spend their time and money to take risk, to get themselves involved in whatever Obi is doing. Prepare your mind for the worst. Just get your mind prepared. For us, we know what we want. All we want is Biafra. And there is nothing that will happen in the planet Earth today that will be a shock to us. Because before ever it starts, we know where it's going to end. We know. The contraption called Nigeria didn't start today. Neither did it start yesterday. There is nothing that is happening today that has not happened before. There is nothing that is new on the planet Earth. Mainly in the contraption called Nigeria, there is nothing that is taking place today that has not happened in the past. That is the obvious truth that you cannot deny. And the more you continue to deny that truth, the more you continue to dip yourself into some temptation. But my advice to you, for those of you who are still promoting this election or P2B, prepare your mind for the worst. Prepare your mind for the worst. Prepare your mind for the shock. It is not for those of us who have already made up our mind. Those of us who already know the result. Those of us who already know the implication of going to get ourselves involved in whatever they call election or whatever. It's not for us. The major advice is for those ones, those who are making themselves a willing tool in the hand of the caliphate, who are using themselves to legitimize evil. Those people who are using themselves to legitimize, they should prepare their heart for the worst, because it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Prepare your heart for the greatest shock of your life. If at all you've not had any, prepare your heart for the greatest shock of your life. But for those of us, the genuine Biafran agitators, there is nothing that will happen in the Zoological Republic today that will be a shock to us. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been saying every single thing that happened today for a very long time. He has been putting everything straight to us. He has given us all the information. So when we begin to see those scripts being played, we will see them playing those scripts. It doesn't come as a surprise. That is why you see the defense of Biafra land is on a high speed. We are going to defend Biafra land on a high speed. People are coming out to support the ESN. Already we have volunteers on the ground who are willing to protect Biafra land, and we are giving them the tools. You and I are going to provide the tools. So many of us are supporting the ESN. We are already doing something. We are not, so we can't be taken by surprise. We cannot be taken by surprise. Instead, we will be the one to surprise them. We will be the one to surprise them. Just like Mazen used to say, we are 1,000 miles ahead of them. 1,000 miles ahead of them. The self-defense they are calling for today, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu saw it and he prepared for it today. As for his freedom, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will definitely be free. We are in the stage of restoration of Biafra, and the restoration of Biafra is the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The restoration of Biafra is the automatic and genuine freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is what he himself wants. What Mazen Nnamdi Kanu wants is a genuine freedom, not a hanky-panky freedom, not a half-baked freedom. We are not ready for such half-baked freedom. We are not ready for it. We know the people we are dealing with. We know the caliphate very well. We know what Nigerian government can offer. Even before they say a word, we know what they can offer. We know. That is why they don't shock us with their actions. They don't shock us. There's nothing as a shock to us. They don't shock us. When you see the terrorists taking over Abuja, it's not a shock to Biafra because we knew it's going to happen. Before it happened, we knew it's going to happen. The invasion of the Nigeria today, we knew it's going to happen. Are they going to come to Southeast to come and attack us in Biafra? We know it's going to happen. And we are getting ready for them. We are prepared for them. So it's nothing that is going to happen in that country that's going to be a shock to us. No. It's only a shock for those of them who are still pretending. Pretending because of their selfish interest, because of the peanuts they are getting. They pretend they want one Nigeria. They promote one Nigeria. They promote evil because of their daily job, because of their personal comfort, what they call a comfort for themselves, which is not comfort, because you can be able to buy a generator and buy fuel and put in your generator. You feel you are not comfortable. Because you have a car you're driving, you feel you're comfortable. Because you have a brother in the politician that is giving you a stipend, giving you a tip-off, giving you contract, you feel you're okay. Because you are aspiring to take one position or the other, local government chairman or whatever, you no longer content. Because you are expecting that if P2B goes to power, it will be your own turn to steal. You are comfortable with it. But for us, we are looking for a genuine freedom. Genuine and undiluted freedom. That is what we are looking for. That is why we must remain consistent. That is our memory verse over here. Consistency is the key. If anybody asks you, tell me what we are going to do to get Biafra now, since you say you will not vote, ask that person, have you ever been a supporter of Biafra? Ask that person, what have you been doing? If the person says he's a supporter of Biafra, ask him, what have you been doing in the past? If you know what you are doing in the past, continue to be consistent in that. Whatever you have been doing in the past have led us to where we are now, will actually lead us to Biafra. It's a simple answer. And if the person has not been following Biafra struggle, or he's never been a Biafra, you don't need to bother yourself explaining to the person, because they will never understand. Even if you tell him what you will do to get Biafra, he was not going to do it. He wouldn't do it. He won't do it. Then ask them, what do you want? Do you want a permanent freedom or a temporary one? Which one do you want? You see them, they will jump into permanent freedom. You want a permanent freedom. And how will your PVC give you a permanent freedom? How can Nigeria voting give you a permanent freedom? How can it give you a permanent freedom? Even a temporary freedom you can't get. It will worsen your situation. It's going to worsen your situation. Somebody who cannot defend you when he has not taken an oath. You think that person will come and defend you after he has taken an oath to protect and to preserve. You think when that person go and take an oath to protect and preserve one Nigeria, then he will spare you. He will allow you to begin to talk about Biafra. Now that P2B has not taken an oath, he has not taken an oath to defend Zoological Republic, and he cannot come out and speak up for his own people. You think after he has taken an oath to serve, to defend, and to protect the one Nigeria, that is the time you think he will come and protect you and save you? You must be a joker, the greatest joke of all time. May Shukwu have mercy on all of us and open our brain so that we begin to reason fine. Please, my fellow Biafrans, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. There are certain questions somebody will ask. You first of all try to digest that question. That is why I tell people, before you can know if somebody is saying the truth or not, before you can know if somebody is saying actually the truth, first of all, try to find out the motive behind what the person is saying. Try to find out the motive behind what somebody is saying. When somebody is saying something, don't just say, oh, he's saying the truth. Oh, I support you doing the truth. Even as I'm talking now, don't just believe me because I'm saying something that you like. No. Try to find out what is my motive of saying what I'm saying. That is when you can begin to be able to get the real information. That's the way you can be able to build a trust on somebody. Try to find out their motive. Those of them who will come out, they will first of all start by telling you how they love Mazen Nandekan, how they love Biafra, how they want Biafra. And yet, you are at that same platform telling people to go and vote for Peter Obi. Go and conduct election. Go and participate in election. And you're saying you want your freedom. And you're saying you love Biafra. You cannot serve two masters. You will either love one and hate the other. That is how it works. You can't serve two masters. You will love one and hate the other. You see somebody, they will throw a jab like, we cannot put our egg in one basket. We will put some here. We'll put some here. The same language, that is what one idiot that is campaigning for Tinubu, one of these celebrities I saw in his video, that is making for Tinubu, saying you can't put your egg in one basket. You put some for Peter, you put some for Tinubu. These are the kind of political talks you hear. Political talk. And it is very sad that you still see agitators, Biafra agitators, using that same political talk, that you can't put your egg in one basket. When it comes to your freedom, every egg must be on one basket. Focus on your freedom. If you really want freedom, focus on. If you don't want freedom, leave it. If you don't want freedom, focus on another direction. Just move away from it. Don't start the preaching of freedom. At the end of the day, you use that one to win soul of people, and then you divert them to a different thing. Don't use Mazen Nandekano to win people's souls. After winning souls, you divert them. Just like that program I'm watching, the guy was saying that people who are the supporters of P2B are supporters of Mazen Nandekano. Who told you that? Who told you that? The program I'm watching, the guy was saying that the supporters of P2B are supporters of Mazen Nandekano. They are not supporters of Mazen Nandekano. You cannot be a supporter of P2B and be a supporter of Mazen Nandekano. You have never been. Anybody that claims to be a supporter of Mazen Nandekano, just know that that person is an imposter. The person is an imposter, is a deceiver. You cannot serve two masters. You either love one or you hate the other. You say the people who are talking about P2B, they are all Mazen Nandekano followers. Those people have never been Mazen Nandekano followers. They have never been. They have never been. They have never been. Anybody today that is supporting election in Biafra has never been a supporter of Mazen Nandekano. They have never been. Even when they pretend. You see them pretending, oh, I will love Biafra. Hey, me self, I want to Biafra more than you. I'm a Biafran person. This Biafra you're talking about, I love it. I want it. If it can want today and tomorrow, I want story. Just to deceive people. Just to deceive people. Freedom doesn't come cheap, and nobody is going to dash you freedom. If you want to fight, get freedom, you will fight. You will put up a fight. That is how to get freedom. You want to get Biafra, you must put up a fight. And that fight is going to break up very soon. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. This is not even the time to beg anybody. Nobody is begging you. Nobody is begging you. If you come on board, it is for your own benefit. If you come on board and join people, it is for your own benefit to save yourself from heartbreak and heart attack. It is for your own benefit to save yourself from heart attack. Because your heart is going to be so destroyed and damaged. Your heart is going to be so destroyed and damaged. By the time things that will happen begin to happen, you will have the shock of your life. To save yourself from that shock, begin to prepare now. Begin to prepare now to save yourself from that shock. Because it's going to happen. It is coming. It is coming. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. May Chukwu guide and protect everybody that has joined on this broadcast. Any place you are connecting from, if you are joining from Biafra land mainly, I appreciate you and I thank people who are connecting from Biafra land against all odds, against all the distraction, against all the attack, against all the hardship. You still find time to connect and join our program. I say, may Chukwu continue to guide you, protect you, provide for you, and secure you. You are going to see Biafra. Definitely, you will. No weapon of the enemy will touch you. No weapon of the enemy will touch you. May Chukwu guide and protect all the Biafran people, all the Duan people, all the Middle Belters. Guide and protect Sunday Igboho. Guide and protect our brother Simon Ekpa. Secure him and give him more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May Chukwu guide and protect our Supreme Damazin Nandekam. Secure him. Continue to protect him. Continue to give him spiritual insights on the things that are going. And we will continue to stand. Biafra will definitely come. It doesn't matter whether you like it, you don't like it. 2023, coming out Biafra. Prepare yourself for the joy ahead. Prepare yourself for the task ahead. It's going to be a heavy task, but at the end of the day, we are going to rejoice. It's going to be a heavy task. And if anybody tells you that freedom comes cheap, that person is a deceiver. It doesn't come cheap. But if you know what you are asking for, you should know that it wants it. Whatever sacrifice you make for freedom, it wants it. May Chukwu guide and protect everybody who have joined us on this very broadcast. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I will join you again. If you have time, you can equally join me on my YouTube
Everybody give way. We don't want election before you say we jump in. We want referendum. Nothing Americano, nothing more, nothing less. Can you I think they want to catch us. After killing up, they want to come the way first. When you can't get concerned because we want the savior. Man, see Simon, comedy, they are acting. Suddenly we are dying. I cannot know, can you cool you no, can you when it could be a see so. Which kind of election you are telling me so? I got to make I could channel happy, you never know. Never my people, we are going home. Ahamadike, Nothing on a prison, man, if I need a man, I need a couple and I can't do. When all one and go woman, go over the energy. I'm not sure you know the word and you won't go the way. Check my Simon, yeah. Oh, man, I want one. She's here, Nico. Madame Asoka, I see you.
Are yet to wake up from your slumber or your sleep and get the point that we are exiting Nigeria. Exiting Nigeria is not going to come from the platter of golden plate. You have to sacrifice for it. And we are ready to sacrifice everything, including you, if you come and stand in the way of freedom. So you need to know how serious we are. We are damn serious. Some of you are not getting it. You think we are here to build political movement? We are here for freedom. Freedom comes with price. Okay? The only thing you can do is to comment on social media. Don't ever stand on the way of Biafra freedom. We crush you.
Their interest is suppressed. Biafra is the key. Once they can hold Biafra down, they can hold all of Africa down. Hey, freedom fighting, sorry. Because all these people are criminals. They are saying there is no way this man cannot be a criminal like themselves. They don't have a different breed altogether. They don't know that. I am Nnamdi Kanu. I don't do all this nonsense you do. My father was a very rich man, not ostentatious. I had the finest education that his money could afford. We are not poor. Have never been. That is why a poor man cannot be a freedom fighter. If you're not full of yourself, you cannot be a freedom fighter. You cannot go everywhere. We must continue.